Good morning and welcome to Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerian politics. My name is Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me Ifoma Oji. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Sharon.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty great.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was just the usual. Nothing, spectacular, but just there.
Sometimes.
But I wish it was extended.
Sometimes normal is okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. What about you?
Yeah, I had a great weekend. It was really relaxing for sure.
Okay.
Now we have joining us via Zoom our analyst in person of Mr. Oladimeji Oluwafemi. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Sir.
Good morning to you guys in the studio. How are you doing this morning?
We are very well. How was your weekend,
what about
sir?
You? We grappled with a lot of negative information in terms of security throughout the weekend. It wasn't the political one for Nigerians.
Yes, it wasn't, to be honest. Anyways, I think that would continue this morning because some of the stories we have are not very palatable. In fact, all of them are not palatable. First, we're starting with President Goodluck Jonathan, who has come out to reveal that during his administration, the terrorist group Boko Haram once selected then General Muhammadu Buhari as their preferred negotiator. This revelation adds a new layer to the complex security history of Nigeria. Now we move over to Edo State as Folashade Tinubu Ojo, daughter of President Bola Tinubu and the Iyaloja General of Nigeria, installs a new Iyaloja in the state. The move has stirred criticism, with many questioning the legitimacy and political motives behind her action. Now, we then move to Enugu, where the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, has admitted that the University of Nigeria, Nsukka UNN, never issued him a certificate. A stunning confession in a country already grappling with credential scandals in public office. But before we move over to all of our stories, we're going ahead with the video we're seeing from Jonathan at the book launch over the weekend on Saturday. He made this statement publicly, saying that during his administration that Boko Haram single-handedly picked the late Muhammadu Buhari as a negotiator for them with his administration. But we'll take a quick look at the video before we give our comments.
Two different options, different committees. We tried our best within that 5 years that I was there. I believe late Buhari too must have tried his best, because one of the committees we set up then, the Boko Haram nominated Buhari to lead their team to negotiate with government. So I was feeling that if they nominated Buhari to represent them and have a discussions with the government committee, then when Buhari took over, would have been an easy way to negotiate with them, and they would have handed over their guns, but it was still there till today. I believe the government, luckily the defense minister is here, the service chiefs all are represented here. I think we will need a slightly different approach, and God willing, we will be able to resolve this crisis. I thank you all.
All right, we just saw that video from former President Goodluck Jonathan, and he just made this statement during his speech, right? And it has gathered a lot of reactions online, on social media. Now, to you, Mr. Oladimeji, if this is actually how it happened, what do you think this means or this says about late Muhammadu Buhari's image and the perception that Boko Haram had of Buhari for them to have chosen him as a negotiator for them with the government? Mr. Oladimeji.
Thank you for that question. Sharon, first let us establish a fact. There is no maybe in that statement. That statement came from a former president who takes morning briefings from all of our security personnel, heads in the country at the time. So whatever goes on in the country, he's always aware, because he takes security briefings every morning before going into any other thing in the country. It is statutory for the president of the nation.
All right, of course.
So, having said that, when Jonathan made that statement, what came to my mind was, why now?
Exactly.
I am a proponent of speak to my face, or I speak to your face. I tell you the truth to your face. Do your worst. But why now?
Yeah.
Why did Jonathan wait till after the death of Buhari to make this statement? Some will argue that the opportunity arose with the book launch with Irabo's book, General Irabo's book launch. But I'll say this is an expedient matter. I mean, that needed expedience. It's a security matter. Now you're just making it public now to Nigerians. So you're telling Nigerians that they voted somebody who was a terrorist sympathizer, who terrorists nominated to be their spokesperson, their mouthpiece, their envoy. I don't know what we are dealing with in this country anymore. I don't understand. But to come out and say some of these things, I am always bewildered. I've never stopped to be puzzled that our leaders will come out and say these things without recourse to the ripple effect of the statements they make. I mean, it
is very concerning.
Yeah, this is a statement that ordinarily can shape any political thing. I mean, any political system or political environment.
You're right.
Now, now the former president had informed us that, well, when APC and Buhari took over office, he was expecting that, somebody who was very close to the non-terrorist would, come and easily lay them off and put it to rest, the terrorism that ravaged the northeast at that time. But unfortunately, that terror grew and festered under Buhari, despite being, their spokesperson under Jonathan. So I don't know what happened during that process. He saw it through, if he accepted, to speak on their behalf. But one thing stands still is the fact that over time, if you trace back all of the statements accredited to Buhari, you will find out that he has always been sympathizers of the terrorists in the north.
Mr. Oladimiji, now, you asked some questions, and I will just answer to the best of my ability. You asked if, this was made public at the time, and what was Buhari's response. Now, so when you look at the comment section under that particular post on social media, a lot of people came out to say that during the time that former President Goodluck Jonathan, made mention of the fact that Boko Haram chose Buhari as their negotiator, that it was public, and that then Buhari came out to denounce that and accuse the administration of trying to soil his image and his name. So that is what we see outside. I can't recall if this was made public during that time. I really don't remember, but some people say that they came out to make mention of this because you were asking why now. So I don't know if maybe this was actually made public during that time, because some people have come out to say that they were aware of this particular information. But also during the speech that Goodluck Jonathan was making, he said that there were some things, and also the Sultan of Sokoto, they were kind of inferring to the fact that there is a book coming out that Jonathan has been able to document most of the things that happened during his time in office, and maybe after that into a book. So maybe that was why, even the Sultan of Sokoto was saying maybe that was why former President Goodluck Jonathan did not even make mention of the fact that he had to use the help of the Sultan of Sokoto himself and other military forces to try and combat the Boko Haram. But I'm going to ask this question to Ifeoma. How do you think that this new revelation, because for some of us, for most of us, this is new. How do you think that this new revelation is going to affect Buhari's legacy or national security?
Okay, if I'm to answer based on what you just asked right now, and based on Buhari's regime, I think there is nothing about legacy. The only legacy he left behind was, you know, crippling the economy on Nigerians the more. There was nothing significant I could actually, attribute, or any positivity I could attribute to, this is what came out of, you know, his government. I can't see anything. But I think this will further more like elude people's trust on government, not just Buhari's legacy, but at least on government.
Yes.
Because, I mean, he coming out, like you said, rightfully said, why now? It was actually the same question I wanted to ask. Is it that he is trying to shift blame, or is he trying to more like inform people that politicians usually use these tactics for, you know, during election campaigns, that they will end insecurity in the state? This Boko Haram insurgency, it didn't start now. It started earlier as in the 20s or 2009, even before Goodluck Jonathan, you know, became the president of Nigeria. You understand? So, but the question here is that I want to ask is that I don't see a reason why he should, number one, be trying to blame Buhari's regime, because I mean both of them had their own time. Buhari ruled during his own time. He didn't end Boko Haram. Goodluck Jonathan ruled in his own time. He didn't end, you know, Boko Haram. So at the end of the day, there is no, you know, person to shift blame onto. I think he should just, you know, be accountable, or even hold himself responsible that during his own time he failed as a security officer.
If I hear you correctly, I don't know if you watched the video completely, but in that particular video, he came out to say, when he was giving the speech, he was saying, he knows that the Buhari administration tried their best and that he did his own best, but he was thinking that since Buhari now was in communication, sort of, or that the Boko Haram trusted Buhari enough to be able to choose him as a negotiator for them, that he thought that they would have been able to reason with Boko Haram. But nevertheless, it was not as though he came out to blame. I'm just trying to put out the facts out there. In the speech that he gave out, he didn't come out to blame the Buhari administration. He said that this is an issue that they are still battling with till date. That all, you know, past administrations have tried their best, but now it is time to bring in new tactics and new system in order to battle the current insecurity. So that is what exactly he said, but this is me paraphrasing. But you also made mention of the fact that, you know, that former President Goodluck Jonathan failed as a chief security officer during his time as president, and so did Buhari fail as well. But there is a popular notion that people have that, you know, has been going on and was rampant, especially during the time of Buhari's leadership. There were lots of claims that Buhari was soft on Boko Haram. Do you think that with this public statement now, that do you think it either undermines it or further solidifies that claim? Ifoma.
Oh, was he soft? I think to a very large extent he was soft, because I mean the idea, it was more like a generalization. Everybody felt he was soft. So if I am to answer this, I think to an extent he was soft.
So do you now think that with this public statement that people are going to agree with that, or is it going to change the perception in any way?
I don't see it changing anything. I mean, he has run his tenure. His tenure is over, is a different tenure. But the only thing I'm actually getting from the entire message or his entire speech is the fact that people should be aware that these are motives. All these politicians that vie for position, this is their motive. They tend to use national security issues for politics. That's what I am seeing him, you know, trying to pass out to the public, even though he didn't make it clear, but that is the undertone that I'm getting from the root.
And now, do you think that this suggests that there is a sort of indirect communication between Boko Haram and some prominent northern figures?
Definitely. Definitely. Even, was it El Rufai? He came out, he said something about them having to negotiate with this, you know, bandits. And I remember when he said that a criminal is not supposed to be negotiated with, that you're supposed to end them immediately.
Yes.
It means that these people know the terrains. Is it not Kwara State government governor? Is it Kwara State or is it Zamfara?
Yes.
Zamfara. He came out to say that he knows the terrains of these people, that he just need enforcement, he just needs security agencies that, you know, could back him up to figure out and fish out these people. So you could see most definitely that some of them know about these people. Some of them are incapacitated to do anything about it. Some of them are in cahoots too with them, because maybe by the time they kidnap one person or the other, them too, they have their own share of the national cake. You understand? So it's basically
it is a whole new perspective put together with all of this, you know, public statements and new revelations. It's shaping, and I think going forward it is going to shape the way we, you know, see and we view Nigeria's security and how to approach it and what past administration is doing. But I just have one last question on this matter before we move on to the next story. With the kind of relationship that the current administration had with the prior administration, do you think this is going to now trickle down to the current administration, either negatively or positively? Ifoma.
okay. Is it me? Okay, rephrase please.
I was asking, now with the kind of relationship, the close relationship that the present administration had with the prior administration, with such proclamation, do you think that is going to trickle down either positively or negatively to affect this current administration?
Okay, I think there's possibility of negating it and there's possibility for positivity. Negativity in the sense that it's as if he is trying to critique the effort, or rather undermine the effort of the security agencies or the government, these present governments, like they are literally not doing anything about this Boko Haram. And then the positivity side is probably he wants to equally bring to their attention that, I mean, this has long, you know, eaten into Nigeria and its economy at large. I think it is time for for the government or the security operatives to do something. You get, it's a matter of urgency, so it should be attended to.
And I couldn't agree more. It should be attended to as soon as possible, and it's not something that we think is going to end anytime soon. It has to be a well-planned effort, and all hands must be on deck to put an end finally to not just Boko Haram, but to every terrorist group that has terrorized the peace of Nigeria and Nigerians. But now we are also going to move on to an equally, you know, interesting but amusing story. So the Iyaloja General, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's daughter, traveled all the way to Edo State to install the Iyaloja of Edo State. Now, this is a whole lot going on social media. Started over the weekend, and people have come out to give their different takes on the matter. But one particularly stood out, and that is that of Randy Peters, which we're going to take a quick look at the video commentary that he made on the situation ongoing. Let's have a look.
Should not be by force. You cannot burn down a place and then rule over the ashes. We take God beguna. This word where they call Iyaloja, what does it really mean? Is it not a Yoruba term to mean the head of market women, the mother of the market? Share a Nigerian term. Is it adopted by all Nigerians to be used as Iyaloja? And nobody dey against you being Iyaloja. But if you are Iyaloja, be Iyaloja for your market and for your terrain now. What empowers you to come out from where you dey, go another people's place to go decide who should be the head of their market there? I get you know. Now, who send you that work? And in any case, what time for this country where we say all market women been come together, come agree, say for Nigeria, we want to vote for this particular person to head us as a market? When wanna hold that convention? Because you see this level of restlessness and rascality, it will lead us nowhere. This desperation to rule over people, every opportunity you want to be lord over people. The presidency where would they deal with is already a handful. I take God beg you, make una pity us. For this country, all of us understand our ethnic, religious differences, and we manage it with understanding to foster national unity. You travel all the way from your place. You went to a state like Edo to meet with the monarch. Edo State, Benin monarchy is one of the oldest monarchies, maybe in the country or even in Africa. The Benin monarch told you clearly, he said this thing where you they do, it is alien to the Benin people. Our market leadership, the palace is involved in it. And we know how we do it and get the market leaders. In fact, allegedly, they say you don't write letter to the Oba of Benin as at 2024, instructing the palace on how they should cooperate and work with the person you people chose as the market leader. As what? As who? Even when Benin monarch tell you, say, okay, oh, this is this and this is this, you people went ahead, carry crown, they put on top person head, they do like this, they sell you, they coronate market, they as what?
All right, we just saw that video from Randy Peters, quite a video, quite a commentary, and you know, this is just one of the different comments that we have seen online with reactions to this particular turn of events. The Aloja General in Lagos, leaving Lagos State to now go to Edo State, and there's a whole lot of controversies surrounding this. First of all, the fact that this did not start today. From the video, we can hear that there was even a letter that was sent to the palace in Edo in 2024 trying to inform them or tell them how to be able to cooperate with the Aloja that the Aloja General has installed or wants to install and all of that. Now, just to give a brief background story as little as I can. Now, according to the Edo people, the palace is actively involved in the market, right, and how it is being run, and they have what they call the Iyeji. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the woman, this person appointed, is working closely with the king, with the monarch of Edo. Now, what she does is to perform cultural rites in all the markets. Now, she does this in collaboration with the palace, and you have to be from Benin, you have to be from around that area. Now, Iyaloja on itself is a Yoruba term, and she coming all the way to Edo State, not once, now not twice, to talk about her installing an Iyaloja in Benin. The monarch explained that it is not their culture. They have the way they run things, and they have the way they call forth their, woman leader or the leader in charge of their markets. But she still went ahead. We saw the video where she went ahead to crown Iyaloja in Edo State, and a lot of people came out to react, especially the Edo people, which is understandably negatively to the whole coronation, I would call it now. Now, to you, Ifoma, do you think that there is a legal authority that Iyaloja General has to go to other states and now install their own state Iyaloja?
First of all, Tinubu's daughter is not from Edo State. That's number one. And then number two, the person she is installing as Iyaloja, which is not even the term that is supposed to be used. It's more like she imported that particular, what do they call it, term, the Iyaloja. It's supposed to be...
It's a Yoruba term that's been there for years.
It's supposed to be Iya-Ije, Abi Iya.
No, Iyeji is from the Edo people.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's not even the name they tag the person. Now, I don't see her having any legal standing. I mean, trying to impose someone that is not even from Edo State. You just imported someone from a different state, and then you're forcing the person on the citizens or the indigenes of Edo State, and you're trying to force the king to equally accept the development. For me, it is craziness, it's madness. I don't know what is really, for me, this is more like a, a classical case of political overreach into, culture. Because when did we get, like, when what's happening? Just like what Randy Peter said here, he said this is rascality. This politics, I don't know what's going on, but these people are roaming and running mad. Yes, I know most definitely that, I mean, the market women have, some percentage of votes during, elections. But why would you impose somebody that they didn't even agree to, is not even, in their own, what is it called? Is it constitution or their law or their culture? And you could see that their king have come to rebuke that there is nothing. It's not supposed to be so. This is something that you're supposed to discuss with the king of that community. Before, how are you coming to somebody's community to tell them how to rule his own land? This is unheard of.
It is unheard of, and it is quite funny. That's why it has gathered a lot of reactions all over the country, and people pouring out their different interpretation of this on social media. But talking about interpretation now, Ifoma, do you think that this appointment, it can be seen as a soft power play against the 2027 elections? Because, like you said, but I'm just going to correct that the market women have some level of voter power. It is not just some. They have a huge magnanimous level of power when it concerns voting. So they are very important to politicians when it concerns elections. Now, do you think that with all of this move, her deferring the ruling of the monarch of Edo State to go ahead to install an Iyaloja in his kingdom, do you think that this has any ties with the 2027 elections?
Definitely. And let me equally correct the fact that you said is maybe soft approach into regaining power for 2027. This is not soft at all. It is not soft. It is more like we are inside water and you're putting soap inside our eyes. Our king is present, the prince is present, the queen is present, the entire community, the entire local leaders or what is it called, community leaders is there, and you're putting soap inside our eyes. So it's nothing close to being subtle. What I'm seeing here is that this present government is trying as much as possible to, make sure that they gather a lot of supporters, whether they like it or not. So you must vote them by force. Now they want to, secure Edo State, which I am seeing them doing, and they are succeeding with it. Because why would you do that in the first place? When the king, I think they sent a letter to the king, and the king rejected that, and they went ahead to do this. You understand? So I'm equally seeing that happening in probably other states. So it's not a subtle control. This is a complete authoritarian government that I'm seeing.
No, that's the next question. I wanted to ask if you think that this sets a precedent for political families to intervene or to interfere in traditional rulings.
You know what Randy Peter said? He said, he mentioned something about political dynasty. And in one of our shows, I mentioned that political dynasty, that we will not be surprised the next, if if Tinubu should remain in seat, the next thing you will hear is his daughter will become the minister for finance. His son will become the minister for petroleum. The other one will become the minister of aviation, all the rest of them. So we are seeing political dynasty growing. They've started with 2025, and we will not be surprised seeing that growing in other, sectors. And it is crazy, and something definitely has to be done about it. But my problem is, how can we do something about it when at the end of the day they don't even listen to the cries of the decent? That is another thing.
This is very important that they do not listen to the cry, because I wanted to ask if you think this can be legally challenged. I mean, can the Edo people now legally challenge this whole incident?
There's possibility that they can challenge it legally, but at the same time, who is in power? That's the question to ask. We've seen cases whereby, the judiciary has been, or should I even say the judiciary completely have been, compromised. So we see that they work hand in hand with the ruling government. So at the end of the day, if these people file a suit against the government or against the daughter of Tinubu, how will it fare? What is the follow-through? There is possibility. I'm not even saying that there's possibility, but there's no victory. I'm not smelling anything like victory in this place, because at the same time, like I mentioned before, they are working together.
So you think there is no way for us as a nation to escape this political dynasty you speak of?
The only way we can escape this is come 2027, because I feel like 2025, 2026, these people have already taken over. So let them maybe like do whatever they want to do. But 2027 is when we change the ball game.
And you don't think from 2025 to 2027, them doing whatever they want to do can cause or lead to them creating a lot of havoc that 2027 election will not be able to solve?
See, let me tell you. You see that incident that happened in Nepal? Yeah? If something like that, but not as crazy as it was, or it was in Nepal, if something like that could actually come up here in Nigeria, I think there is no way, born you man or woman, there is no way these people will remain in power. If Nigerians
that would be really dramatic, and that would be interesting to see.
If the different ethnic groups we have in Nigeria unite and say, we are going to unseat this present government, these people need us. The security agencies that they deploy, they are still Nigerians. The ministers, the governors, the rest of the parastatals, they are still Nigerians. The youths are still Nigerians. So if everybody should unite together, who is Tinubu? Who is Wike? That we cannot fight. They're just 2 people, I'll be 5 persons, or highest 20 persons. How many people are there in the Senate House? 104. How many are the citizens of Nigeria? So it's all about we coming together, that unity. We're saying, okay, it is time for us to take the bull by the horn. And I don't see us, there's no way I will not see us making headway as against 2027 or even 2027.
All right. That would be beautiful and phenomenal to see in Nigeria's political history, where every political or ethnic group comes together for one cause. It would be an earth-shaking performance. But we are going to move on to something that borders our, public, just trust with public officials and public office holders. Now, Minister Uche Nnaji has come out to confess that he was not issued a certificate from UNN, all right? And this is the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation. Now, when you read up on this particular event, he came out to say that though he got admitted into UNN, but he was not given a certificate. And the way he framed it, it was as though UNN was not cooperative and they didn't give him his certificate. Now, UNN came out, that's the Vice Chancellor came out to make a public statement to that, and he said that yes, he got admitted to UNN, but he was not given a certificate because he did not fulfill the requirements for that degree. So this is what we are having now. Now, that is the background story on that. And I'm asking you, Ifoma, what do you think, what are the legal consequences that we can look forward to now with regards holding public office without a valid academic certificate?
I think, first of all, I know in Kuwait that years ago, some of their ministers that forged their certificate were suspended and their appointments terminated. I think if we could start by suspending them, and after investigations we find out that these people are guilty as charged, they should face the full wrath of the law. That is what it should be. And some of them, there's even one news I saw, was it last week, where I saw that a certain senator in US kind of should I say she sacked herself?
She resigned.
She resigned. Well, I saw sacked, but it was resignation. But what did she do? According to the rule, they said she has been doing, delivering on her mandate, but she made just one error, just one mistake, and they brought it to her notice. And it was more like she felt terribly bad because of that, and she resigned. So you could see that there was accountability, there was transparency, and credibility is playing out here. But why is it that in Nigeria here, instead of the judiciary system or instead of the government to hold, you know, these certain senators or ministers accountable, they leave them? How can the office of the Minister for Science and Tech, how are we supposed to be questioning his degree?
It is
How?
very,
His
very
certification,
funny.
how? It shows that the process of screening was actually flawed.
Thank you. That's the next
How
question.
did they screen this? How? This is insane.
Because I don't understand how he passed his background check
How?
before his appointment.
And he is equally saying that UNN were not cooperating. Okay, let's say, for example, UNN were not cooperating. What happens to NYSC? They did not cooperate too.
Yes, there's also a discrepancy with that particular certificate, because NYC has also come out to say that they don't have that, you know, in their folder. They did not give that discharge certificate that he claims that NYC gave him.
Sharon, lies. UNN lied against you. NYSC lied against you. Now the entire Nigeria is equally lying against you. That you graduated in 1985, but there is no record showing that you graduated. There was record that, you gained admission, but there was no record that you fulfill the requirements to graduate. And it is so crazy. But I think, was it last week or last 2 weeks that the presidency brought out one rule like that, anybody that they're going to be, you know, filtering certificates, forgery, people that falsified their certificates. Yes, and I mentioned something about them, this whole, filtering. Is it starting from Aso Rock? Because it should start from Aso Rock, because the presidency, we are still questioning his own certificate.
Yes.
So from the president, then we'll move over to the governors, we'll move over to the ministers, the chairman, all of them need to be filtered out, including this particular man.
Yeah,
because he's supposed to, first of all, suspend himself.
Yeah, that's what people are saying, that he should have resigned as of the time of this publication. But, you know, with what we are seeing now, do you think that, or are you foreseeing any criminal charges against him because of this?
Yes, I think the charges there, it's clear. Falsification. If they kind of investigate into the matter and find out that he is guilty, he needs to face some charges.
But this is a serious issue.
Yes, it's a serious issue.
Now,
they are not even encouraging, you know, the youth. They are not encouraging
people
them.
that want to enter into political offices now.
They are not.
Because I also wanted to ask, what precedent this sets for young political office holders, and not just young, but for the education sector in general, Ifoma?
It's saying basically that education is scam, and that without connection, education leads you nowhere. It is an end, not even to a beginning. It's a total end. There is no road. There is no light at all. And it is extremely bad, because this present administration, they're supposed to be like those icons that the younger generation will look up to.
It is unfortunate.
It means that anybody can just come up with, maybe you just attended nursery school, you can go to a cyber cafe, swear affidavit, and yes, swear affidavit that you attended university, and then you will regain or gain a particular position in office, and you're eating, plenty, you're taking plenty, salaries from the rest of white people that really suffered to gain those credentials are sitting either hawking or doing menial jobs. It is so sad.
It is sad, and they are not even able to fend for themselves, seeing as the minimum wage is just 70,000 naira. Now, I also wanted to ask now, just moving forward, what reforms do we think that the education sector can now introduce in order to avoid situations like this moving forward?
Okay, I think maybe with that upload, that's new development, that's upload into a server. I can't remember the name of the server. I think this will actually make it more people's credentials can actually be more authentic. You understand? Yes. With that, you could know, you could actually decipher who really forged or falsified their certificates, because by the time they check your record, they will see. And then again, all these VCs in schools, I think they should clear people with questionable characters and employ or appoint those people that have integrity. Because at the end of the day, even if they go to screen or check the record of these people that falsified their results, once they are being paid, if they pay the VC, they can actually, swing the whole thing to their favor. See, at the end of the day, so it will definitely.
There's a lot of parties that play out in this. I understand what you're saying. So it's not just from maybe the so-called minister, even the management of these universities and the offices that they screen, or they allegedly screen all of these appointments and academic documents. Now, I said something, and this is the final question, Ifoma. This is the Minister of Science and Tech. And innovation as well. Do you think, what does this say about the public image of Nigeria's tech outside? And do you think that as a result of having people with unverifiable academic qualifications, do you think that is a reason why the country is not focused so much on tech as a non-oil revenue, way of gathering money for Nigeria?
Bam. Everything that you just said, because we keep talking about nepotism every single time here, that a lot of persons, because maybe they are friends with the minister, they are friends with the president, they give them appointments that they don't merit. You understand? And when you are being given appointments that you don't merit or you don't qualify for, what do? You just come there, employ more people that don't merit the position, and the cycle keeps going on. And what do you do in return? You keep on crippling the economy, because there will be nothing like development in the aspect of science and technology.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be seeing young stars. We're supposed to be seeing, a lot mind-blowing, technological experiments. But we are not seeing anything like that, because the person that we call the Minister for Science and Tech is not even the Minister of Science and Tech. He doesn't even know what science means. Neither does he know what tech means. So it's a dead end for science and tech in Nigeria. But I love the fact that even though that, we are seeing a lot of this, you could still see young stars, young adults, both male and female, still invested in science and tech.
Yes.
Because they know that even if their office is not going to benefit maybe the Nigeria as a whole, maybe them holding an official title, they can actually better Nigeria as a whole.
And that is a testament to the true Nigerian spirit of always trying to excel in no matter the field that you found yourself in. And it is such a sad situation that the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation has this shady academic background. But thank you, Ifoma Oji, for joining me on the show today. Thank you for your contributions. As always, it's always a pleasure. And to our viewers, we say thank you for always joining us in the conversation. We thank you for your comments, your likes, your shares. We encourage you to do even more. If you're yet to follow us across all social media platforms, endeavor to do so. Find us at Active Citizens. You can find me on my personal page on Instagram and Facebook at Sharon Enemchuku. And you, Ifoma?
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miselex.
All right, till we see you this afternoon for As Ide Hot. Do have a good morning.